If you're relocating to Boise, you're probably wondering what are the pros and cons of living in the city of Boise or some of the surrounding areas, the suburbs, and even maybe the urban areas that surround Boise. So today we're going to be covering exactly that, so you know all the pros and the cons of both living in Boise and the surrounding areas. So let's dive into the content. Guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I am your host, Nasim Issa. I am so excited to talk to you guys about this today because it's a common question we get from a lot of our clients that are relocating to Boise but just have no genuine idea as far as what the demographics look like of living in Boise or just in one of the neighboring cities like Meridian, Nampa, Eagle, or any of the other cities that also surround Boise. So that's what we're going to be diving into today and dissecting it so that you guys have a genuine idea as far as what areas may be best for you in your current situation or your situation once you relocate to the area. So with that being said, let's talk about where Boise is specifically on the map, right? So Boise is located in southwest Idaho, not at the panhandle, on the opposite side, closer to the Nevada side of things. So now with Boise being in the southwest side, the good thing about that is you get a lot less severe weather, whereas northern Idaho and eastern Idaho tend to get a lot more wind, a lot more intense snow and things of that nature. So location wise, Boise is just in a great spot. Now I will say over the last couple years, Boise has grown exponentially, not just Boise, but also the surrounding cities. The Treasure Valley as a whole, which is the nickname for the cities that we're going to be talking about today, is currently expanding faster and faster every single day as more and more people are finding out about it. It's kind of like a hidden gem. Idaho isn't like the #1 spot people think of when they're getting ready to relocate. Typically, they want to relocate to Texas or North Carolina or somewhere eastern to where it's just a really solid area. It's a different area as far as when they want to move to the east side. However, on the west side, Idaho's popularity is growing fast. Now, whether you're relocating to Boise because you love Boise State University so much or because you have a new job opportunity, or more commonly for a lot of people, retiring in the Boise and surrounding area, we're gonna give you guys the entire scoop as far as what it's like to be a local in the area. So before we kick it off real quick, I am a licensed real estate agent here in the Boise and surrounding areas. I would absolutely love to help you guys with your home buying needs as much as we love making these videos for you guys. So with that being said, make sure you guys reach out to me personally. You can call, text, or email. You'll see my information popping up on the screen. Do whatever you need to do to make sure you save that information so you can make sure that you're being taken care of by a relocation specialist. And without further ado, let's actually dive into the content. So the first thing that we're going to kick it off with, the pros of living in Boise is honestly second to none with a lot of different areas. You may compare it against Seattle, you may compare it against Denver, you may be comparing it against San Diego, California, or what are those areas. The truth is Boise, Idaho is just always moving. I'm not talking about the hustle and the grind and things of that nature. I'm talking about just in general, people in Boise are very active. They're very fit. They're always out hiking or doing something outdoor because that's what Boise offers. It offers unreal, just outdoor beauty and just natural scenery that you just have to go out and see, because honestly, no matter how many videos you see, no matter how much documentation you see on what it has to offer, it just doesn't beat seeing it in the grand scheme of things. I'm talking about there's so many different types of mountains, so many hills, so many different parts of water that you can go check out. Now, mind you, we do not have any oceans, so that's going to be a con. Just the overall outdoor activities that you can participate in recreationally is just absolutely next level. And I tell people all the time in every video and every conversation we have, there is literally not a single thing that you can't do in Idaho as far as outdoor recreation goes that I can personally think of. And to this day, I have not been proven wrong. So until then, we're going to continue saying that. Not only do they have an extremely active lifestyle, they also have an extremely active community. And what I mean by that is that people are always getting out and meeting each other and networking and socializing and just doing the absolute most as far as connecting with people and just having a good time. I think a lot of people that tend to come to Boise, Idaho are almost taken off guard. I personally was, because of how nice the people are, the friendly community, all the different activities you can participate in, whether it's a farmer's market or the Boise Country Music Festival, whatever your interests are, whatever your hobbies are, there's more than likely going to be a community that you will easily fit into, and you'll always be able to find your group of people. Not only do you have amazing communities, more than ever, there is now more diversity as far as cultural festivities, whether you're celebrating with the Soul Food Festival or you're going out to Hawaiian nights or whatever the case may be. There's just so much culture now in the Boise area and the surrounding areas, which is absolutely awesome to see. It's just continued to grow and grow, especially with as many people that have relocated this way. It's only continued to grow and blossom as far as what opportunities and what different things are out there to enjoy. Now, another huge pro we're going to discuss is going to be the economic opportunities. So full transparency, when I first got here, Boise felt like a smaller city that there wasn't too much going on. But as I've seen years and years and years, and if you don't know my story, I actually came here back in 2017 on active duty military order. So I was stationed in Mountain Home for 6 years, did my entire Air Force contract with them. And then once I separated, I decided to serve people in another way through real estate. Now, with me being able to watch and see the growth of Boise, the growth of all the surrounding cities, I have actually watched a lot of firsts happen. And with that is going to be the job market. As far as job opportunities for someone that has gone from a comfortable salary to an entrepreneur, I will definitely say that it is a lot easier to get a business going or find your career field opportunities, especially if you're going to be in somewhere around the medical career field, manufacturing career field, or even technology. Now, those are just the top 3 as far as Idaho goes. But I will say there's so much opportunity here, whether you're looking at Boise or the surrounding areas. So it's kind of a pro for both sides of those things. But with that being said, a lot of people relocate here because they're finding better opportunities, cheaper cost of living, and just a booming job market where you can ensure that you're going to be here for quite a while as far as sustainability and longevity goes. Now, not only is the business booming, but if you're someone just like me who is starting off in entrepreneurship, starting a business, or just taking off for the first time, the Boise area is huge on providing local support to local businesses. Whether you're an Idahoan or not, they always love supporting local people. So, and I think that goes without being said. I think that's a direct reflection of how well the community is tight-knit, as well as all the friendly people that do live in the area. So it's just a huge positive all the way around as far as economically and community-wise. Now, the next pro, I know we kind of hit on it already, but I'm gonna go a little deeper into it. As far as outdoor recreation goes, there is just so much to explore. Not only does Boise have so much going on, from Lucky Peaks, which is an amazing area where you can go enjoy boating with your friends and family, you can go enjoy fishing, you can go enjoy bodyboarding, you can just enjoy so much, jet skiing. There's just an endless amount of activities. And then during the winter, since we have 4-season weather, not only can you go enjoy the water during the summer, but then during the winter, you can head up to Bogus Basin and go enjoy skiing or snowboarding. It's always this very beautiful thick snow, or if there's not snow coming in, then they always man-make snow, which is awesome because you still have the opportunity to get out there. Now, I will say the 4 seasons always depends on Mother Nature, and Mother Nature is super bipolar in Idaho, because one day it could be raining, the next day it's 90 degrees, and then the next day it's snowing, and you just kind of have to play with what we're given. And for the most part, it is somewhat consistent. We kind of know when there's going to be a little bit of back and forth as far as weather goes, but overall, you can just enjoy so much outdoor recreation wise because of the 4 seasons. Not only are you able to go enjoy water and snowboarding and all the good stuff, but you can also enjoy bike trails. There's a ton of parks. Boise is notorious for as many parks as it has. It is literally named the City of Trees, and all these trees are all lined up as far as the parks go. You have Morrison Park, you have Settlers Park, you have so many different parks that it's almost just impossible to name them all. There's just so many in the small vicinity of areas, and even in the surrounding areas, there are just so many parks to go and explore. So that's always a huge plus, especially if you have children or if you have dogs. I love taking my dog out. He's a big pit bull, and then my girlfriend has a small wiener dog. It's the craziest combination I know, but regardless, we always have a good time taking them out, taking them for walks, especially on the Greenbelt. That's one of the biggest attractions in Boise as far as trails and things of that nature to walk or check out. I would definitely recommend checking out the Greenbelt. But as you can tell, just trying to talk about specifically what outdoor recreation activities there are, I'm almost just going to run the entire video with this. So with that being said, I hope you guys get the point as far as outdoor recreation goes. There's just so many different opportunities for you, and I definitely recommend you create a big list and just go do it all. Now let's talk about some of the cons of living in Boise. Now, some of the cons we're going to talk about immediately off the jump is going to be the cost of living. Now, cost of living isn't bad outside of housing. So housing is going to be the biggest price marker where you're going to feel it the most, and that's because Boise's growth has been absolutely insane. And with that being said, inventory isn't necessarily at an all-time high right now, but it's not necessarily at an all-time low either. So it's kind of becoming a more balanced market, which is a positive for you as a buyer. But with that being said, what does that mean for you if you're looking at purchasing a home? What can you expect? Well, the median price point right now in the Boise area is $575,000. Now, if you've watched some of our recent videos, it actually was $600,000 not too long ago. and some even above that. Not too long ago, it was in the 650 range. So we have seen prices come down pretty significantly. And to add the cherry on top, not only have we seen prices come down a little bit, we've also seen the interest rate start to drop as well. So if you're someone that's going to need loan financing or something of that nature, you're just kind of hitting a double positive right now as far as where the market's headed. And with winter coming up on top of that, most people, they just don't want to relocate during the winter. It's kind of obvious why. It's cold. You never know what may happen on the streets and things of that nature. But I will say, as far as streets and things of that nature, they do keep them pretty clean depending on where you're coming from. Obviously, there's going to be different conditions, but for the most part, just people don't like moving in the cold. They would much rather stay inside, stay warm, celebrate the holidays, and then after that, they want to start the new year strong, and they're all of a sudden buying a house. Now, as far as housing goes in Boise, there is literally all types of houses. There's waterfront properties, there's going to be properties in the mountains, there's going to be properties in downtown where you can get a condo and overlook the entire city, or you can do it on the hills where you can also overlook the city near Table Rock. There's just all types of homes. So with that being said, what I would like to do is for you guys to check out some of these homes. So let's go ahead and show you guys what some of the homes have to offer in the Boise area. Just like I said, there are homes that range from older style, beautiful, charming homes to the most luxurious homes with waterfront views and city views, and it just really depends on what you're looking for. So with that being said, that is going to be one of the #1 cons. However, outside of that, utilities are almost one of the cheapest in the country. You have a bunch of tax exemptions as far as owning a property goes. You just have so much that it offers you as far as to compensate or almost offset the cost of living as far as purchasing a home or rent and things of that nature. Now, another big con is going to be the projection of growth. Now, right now, as you guys know, we are growing faster and faster than ever. Boise's population has jumped over 200,000 people. And now with that being said, as it continues to climb, things are only gonna get busier, right? We're gonna see traffic congestion. We're gonna see a lot less housing inventory. There's gonna be a lot of things that start to stipulate or start to, happen due to the growth. However, I will say most people don't always live in Boise. Sometimes they live around Boise and travel to work in Boise. So with that, it's kind of a positive negative. However, it just kind of depends on what's making the most sense for your situation, which is why I always recommend we hop on a phone call, we hop on a Zoom, and just really talk about what your current situation is and what would make the most sense before you relocate. Now, another con, we kind of hit on this. I did tell you guys, bipolar weather. Bipolar is probably not the right word. It's maybe quadpolar, whatever that may mean. But regardless, what we're saying here is that the weather can be sometimes pretty severe, right? Now, sometimes the summers will hit triple digits and the winters will hit negative degrees, but it just all kind of goes with preparing for the worst as far as weather goes. Now, I will say there's been some really soft winters where there hasn't been a lot of snow. There's been some really decent summers where it hasn't been too hot, but overall, just always plan for the worst because you never know how it may fluctuate. Now, let's talk about some of the pros of living in the surrounding areas instead of Boise, and some cons as well. So with that being said, starting off with the pros, you're gonna have a lot more affordable housing. So what does that mean for you? Now, the median price point in Boise is $575,000, whereas in Meridian, it's actually $525,000, and it's literally just one street over. Now, if you'd like to get a little further away or maybe save a little more on the buck, then you also have Nampa, which is another street past Meridian, which is gonna be a median price point of $450,000. Now, I will say there's still a lot of different things to factor in as far as what areas you want to move to or what you're willing to do. Now, that's not to say every property in Meridian is going to cost $525,000 or every property in Boise is going to be $575,000. It's really just kind of a median price point. So like I said, the best thing to do when it comes to purchasing a home is going to be sitting down with us and just making sure that we go over exactly what you're looking for in the home, what is important to you, what is a want, what is a need, and then from there we can really come up with a game plan to execute to get you guys a home that you guys absolutely love. Now, the next pro we're going to talk about that's going to come from living outside of Boise is going to be the less population, smaller communities, and just less traffic congestion as well. Now, I will say there's still going to be a little bit of traffic as far as traveling, you know, around times where people are driving to work or people are driving to home from work, just because naturally that tends to be when most people are on the road anyways. But I will say they are kind of keeping up with that because they're building new highways, new interstates to kind of just try to resolve those conflicts as far as traffic congestion goes, which is an absolutely amazing thing to see as someone that does live here. What does it look like when you're living in a smaller, less populated area? Well, it's not going to be as developed, right? You're going to see a lot less as far as neighbors being stacked on top of each other in townhomes or things of that nature, which there's nothing wrong with it. It's just more so a matter of like you're seeing a lot more of it because they're just running out of room to where they can actually build. Now, even though the Boise and surrounding area is very, very minimal as far as crime rate, in less populated areas, you're going to see a lot less happening. There's just going to be a lot less going on. Regardless, though, I will say I think the low crime rate in both Boise and the surrounding areas is due to it just being such a friendly community, and it just kind of goes as far as people just really caring about where they live and just genuinely caring about how they take care of their state. So I think there's a lot of positives there, but with that being said, in a smaller community, just a lot less going on, right? Just not too much to worry about as far as traffic, not too much to worry about as far as your neighbor being able to look into your window just by opening the blinds and things of that nature, right? So it's always good to be in a smaller community or even in the outskirts for those of you that prefer to be just completely away from socialization, period. Now, some of the cons from living in the surrounding areas is going to be smaller things like limited shopping and dining and entertainment areas, right? So obviously there's going to be a limit there as you get further and further away from Boise. Now, Meridian is still a heavily populated area, so I won't say Meridian would necessarily fall into that factor because Meridian is honestly probably growing at the same rate, if not faster than Boise. However, it has a population of just around 120,000 people. Obviously, it's probably a lot more than that now as it's probably grown significantly, but they have a lot of firsts from the first ever Topgolf in Idaho to be built there. The first ever In-N-Out was built in Meridian. So there's also the first ever Shields, which if you're familiar with all of those, and you know that those are pretty popular areas and they're a big hit out here in Idaho. So a lot of people really love Meridian and everything that they're developing here. So with that being said, it's kind of a pro to live in Meridian, but a con at the same time because it's also growing as fast as Boise. So maybe Meridian and Boise wouldn't necessarily be in the same category, but they're pretty damn close. But overall, if you do add in the fact that you are kind of getting further and further away from Boise, you are just losing more and more amenities as you get further away. Now, with that being said, another con is going to be commute times. Now, if you have to drive from Caldwell, Nampa, or any of those cities all the way to Boise for work, you're looking at about a 20 to 30 minute drive, which some people don't mind. Some people actually live all the way in Mountain Home, which is about a 35, 45 minute drive, just because they'd rather drive from there and it's completely off the grid in a small town feel rather than a bigger city, which people prefer. So ultimately, it just kind of comes down to what makes the most sense for you and your family and your situation. But if you guys need recommendations, as always, comment below. If you guys have any questions on anything we've talked about, I'd love to answer those questions as we continue to go. Now, the biggest con is probably going to be the limited public services. And I will say Boise, in a sense, is also limited on this. However, you'll really feel it as you continue to get further away from Boise because there's not a lot of buses, there's, if any, and then you're also going to lose trains. There's no trains out here like that. And there's just not a lot of public services, period, right? So as far as public transportation and things of that nature, is just automatically gone. Now, I will say for the most part, healthcare facilities are pretty spread out as far as Boise and the surrounding areas, but Boise is going to be the hot area for a lot of the hospitality and things of that nature that you need. Meridian is also a pretty big spot, but outside of that, you kind of lose more and more facilities the further out you get. But in conclusion, there's not too many pros and cons as far as whether you're living in Boise or the surrounding areas. It just matters what makes the most sense for you in your current situation. So with that being said, guys, one more time, I do want to reiterate, I am a licensed real estate agent here in the Boise and surrounding areas, and I would absolutely love to help you guys as we've helped so many other people from our YouTube channel. It's been an absolute blessing. So you'll see my phone number, my email. Reach out to me, call me, text me, email me. It doesn't matter the time of the day. Just reach out so I could be that resource for you guys. Now, with that being said, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you guys press the subscribe button. Make sure you guys press the notification button to get notified for more videos just like this. And without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure you guys check out some of our other videos just like this. As always, thank you guys for watching the video. See you on the next one.